If you think their grammar's bad, wait till you see them in person. Here's what's coming up on the Nice Guys today.
Praise is the most overrated thing in life. Praise is massively overrated. Every time somebody says, oh, you're so great at this and you're so great at that, and I love your podcast, and blah, 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 it makes you feel terrific. But it doesn't teach you shit, because in almost every case, we already know what we're good at. Yeah. What makes you a better person, what makes you a better entrepreneur, what makes you a better business person and husband and father and friend is negative feedback and criticism. It's people who are good seek compliments. People who are great seek complaints. That's the difference. So find a way to ask your customers to tell you the truth. The truth will set you free.
The Nice Guys on Business podcast. The sportos, the motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebs, dickheads. They think they're righteous dudes. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, Nice Guy community, welcome back. Welcome back. It is Friday. It is the end of the week. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler.
Is today day 3 for Patreon? Are we millionaires yet?
No, we're not quite there yet, Doug.
At what level would you feel like we've even... I'm looking just to move the needle. So yeah. I think they talk about the success in a successful launch of Patreon is to have a handful or more of people that are on board. And Strick,
we've got a handful of people on board so far, so we're good.
Yeah, we do. But I'm tired of contributing to the show, and now I'm contributing via Patreon too.
No, we have a handful of other people, not you. Are you contributing to the show?
Well, I thought you wanted me to take all those assumed names and start entering in. Isn't that what you told me to do?
Oh, you can go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/nice guys, if you want to donate to the show. We really appreciate it. We need all help we can get. The show is free. The show is going to stay free. We're never going to charge for it, but you can get all kinds of cool extra bonus content. If you could help us get to our first goal, $100 a month. I don't think it's a whole lot to ask. And by the way, we're not asking for $100 from you specifically. Like $2 is plenty. Yeah. We're hoping that enough people donate $2 or $5 and that we can get to $100 a month and we can actually pay for the show.
Is it a donation, or is it kind of like when you go to the movies, you're not donating to the movies, you're paying for admission. They don't have to pay for the admission. It's free admission. It's give what you can. Give until it hurts. That's what I like to say. At what point would it start to hurt?
Give until it hurts and then give a little bit more.
No, you give until it hurts and then you back up a little bit. If you back up a little bit, I guess for me the question would be, what's the safe word? Is there a safe word here? Just give until you need this. Give until you need the safe word, and then back up just a teeny little bit, and I will take that rubber ball out of your mouth. I promise.
Wow, we're going to a really, really bad place. I hope Jay Baer, who's your interview today, is an understanding guy.
Oh, he's totally understanding. He's a great guy. I forgot we had an interview day today. I'm sorry, Jay. I did not mean to get all offensive on your show day. Jay Baer, yeah, Jay is the interview today, and what a great guy. He talks about customer service being the new marketing, and how fucking true is that? Yeah. It really is. Customer service is everything, and as some other friends in the industry have coined, customer service is not a department. It's really an attitude. It really is an attitude. Just think about where service is so essential. Okay, let me ask you a couple questions. Is service essential in the sales process?
Of course.
Okay. Is it in the support process?
Oh yeah.
All right. Would you hope that there would be good customer service in the accounting department?
I would hope so.
Would there be good customer service in reception?
I would hope so.
I mean, name a department that does not. Name a department that would be excluded from having to care about any level of customer service for the customer.
No, ultimately, that is what it's all about even if you are a developer, right, and you are writing software and you never deal with the customer, well, ultimately, you're writing software that the customer is going to interact with. So you have to keep that in mind, too, everywhere.
So Jay Baer is a very, very sought-after speaker. He is an award-winning extremely talented writer. He wrote a book called Hug Your Haters, and I know that a number of people in the Nice Guy community have read the book. Many people have reached out to me saying, "Hey, get Jay Baer on the show. We would love to hear him with the Nice Guys spin." And he's all that and so much more. Just a great guy. I asked him some key questions like, are you a marketing guy turned service or a service guy turned marketing? And he has some really interesting answers just about not only customer service, but how to build your business, what your business should be based upon, how to wear a good pocket square, because that's really important in the world, and how to eat good Italian food. So we chat about all of those topics and more.
I don't think I own any pocket squares.
You don't?
Not that I know of.
You really do. You just don't think that you own them. Okay. Take a sock, for example. No, don't take a sock. Don't take a sock. Even some of your old ties, you can turn them into pocket squares if you're handy with scissors.
Okay, good to know.
Good to know. In a pinch, you can turn almost anything into a pocket square, except anchovies. Don't ever turn anchovies into a pocket square. Where my brain goes when I'm thinking sometimes, I have no idea. But I just had this vision of like a handful of anchovies sticking out of your pocket. And it actually would be a cool pocket square. It would be a good conversation piece. Not a lot of people would want to hang around you, but it would be but you get pizza delivery, right?
Weren't we talking about Jay Baer?
Oh, yeah. So Jay Baer... Sorry, Jay Baer's on the show today. Should we get to the interview or anything else that we need to talk about?
We haven't done the promise statement yet.
The promise statement: to provide a learning experience that is entertaining and adds value to your life. Hopefully we're living up to that. We want to be both entertaining and add value to your life, or the combination of the two. I'd go for the 50-50 if I were you. Like, pizza that you want half with pepperoni and half with sausage. Love all that stuff. But if we're not living up to that, please, or if we are and you just want to tell us, at Nice Guy on Biz with a Z is Strick's Twitter handle. But he never checks that. So why don't you just go ahead and, that's not true. Strick, I really noticed that last week you were like completely not existing on Twitter. What happened?
I run hot and cold with Twitter. I get busy. I'm sorry.
Some days I get like 30 likes and retweets by Strickland Bonner at Nice Guy on Biz. And then like last week, it was just completely crickets. I felt completely alone out there in the social media world. Strick, you're letting me down.
I'm on Facebook. Okay. I'm doing the Facebook group. You take Twitter. How's that?
Yeah. You're doing that, huh?
Are you questioning me? Because I don't know what level I should be doing that at.
No, I'm just kidding. You're doing a yeoman's job on Facebook as well. So reach out to me at DJ Doug is my Twitter handle, at Nice Guy on Biz, or you can certainly leave us a message and give us some cool information, and maybe post a picture or something really fun about you on the Nice Guy community page on Facebook, which is at that's niceshortcut.com. All right, so should we just get to the interview? I'm ready to do this. I am really excited about my Jay Baer interview.
All right, well, let's get to it then. Here's the interview with Jay Baer.
Nice Guy community, I have met the future, and it's Jay Baer. Yes, Jay gets it. Deep into the core of what business is all about, Jay is here to share his smarts as an author of a wildly popular Hug Your Haters. He's a New York Times bestseller, none of this Amazon bullshit seller stuff like me. He's legit. As a podcaster and professional speaker, Jay is all about helping us understand truly why customer service is the new marketing. He's the go-to expert and consultant on everything customer service, and actually fashion frames for guys that can pull off wearing tweed and patches on his sleeves and pocket squares. Welcome to the Nice Guys on Business podcast, Jay Baer.
Doug, fantastic to be here. Congratulations on the success of the show, being part of the C-Suite network. It is blowing up, baby. It is my honor to be here.
We're working hard. We're trying to just, I'm chasing your coattails. So if you just keep running, I'll be about 30 steps behind you, but I'm okay with that. That's fine with me.
I'm okay to be the wedge buster, baby.
All right. So Jay, I'm going to call you out here right from the get-go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. We all know consistency is key in delivering a really exemplary customer experience. And your post on your podcast weekly, and yet, Jay, I noticed January 2nd of 2015 that there was not an episode of your podcast. That was 200 plus episodes, Jay, and you missed one. I mean, come on.
We dropped the ball. We're at 262 or something like that now. We're on the 6th year of the Social Pros podcast, which is not a podcast about customer service, but a podcast about big company social media marketing. And we interview people who manage social media for medium-sized and big companies every week. And we had planned to do a greatest hits show that week, and we botched the recording. And it was one of those deals where I was already 4 beers into the holidays. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, nobody cares. It's going to be fine.
And it's funny that you actually, if somebody were to say, hey, well, you missed January 2nd of 2015, I would be like, What the fuck? How do you even know that? I don't even know that I missed an episode of that. So
No, I know.
You actually
I
know
know
that you missed it.
I know. Trust but verify.
It's customer experience 101, Jay. I mean, come on, get on the same page as everybody.
I feel bad about it, but
no, I love your show. I love your shows, actually, audio and video shows. The video being the short, like, rehearsed spontaneity streams of thought and theory. I really love them. Jay's podcast, Nice Guy Community, is the Social Pros podcast and video vlog Jay Today TV. Did I say that one right? Jay Today TV.
Yeah, the video show is Jay Today. It's at jtoday.tv is how you'd subscribe. It's on Facebook Live and YouTube and occasionally other places. And it's just 2 videos a week, 3, 4, 5 minutes at the max. Just things that I see that are interesting or irksome. We're in mid-February as we record this. I'm sure it'll be a couple weeks before this comes out, but it was Valentine's Day recently. So my episode yesterday was, just because it's Valentine's Day doesn't mean that you have to claim that as your marketing approach. And so I got emails yesterday. I got Valentine's Day emails yesterday from Subaru, from a vacuum cleaner company, from a conference, from a breakfast cereal. I'm like, look, just because you have a business doesn't mean you have a Valentine's Day marketing approach. But it seems to be that everybody defaults to that. So that was yesterday's episode talking about the foolishness of that.
What does it mean when you actually have your competition who delivers flowers and candy and champagne to your wife on Valentine's Day? I'm like, I open the door. I'm like, who the fuck is delivering champagne to my wife on Valentine's Day? It's my competition. I hate that. I mean, I love my competition, but oh my gosh, that got me. I got her flowers. Thank goodness I got her flowers. I did not forget to do that. One of the things that you did on your video, which was really cool, is the Super Bowl. What would you spend your $5 million on? That was really good.
I'm a digital marketing guy. I've been in online marketing and online customer service since 1993. So really since the very, very, very beginnings, pre Yahoo, pre-browser for that matter. And it gets to the point you think, okay, it's one 30-second Super Bowl commercial. Or one of the kind of comparisons that we used is you could, this is a crazy stat, okay? You could serve up a display ad, a banner ad. Now I understand banner ads are, not all that, but you could show a banner ad 8 times on Super Bowl Sunday to every single American between the ages of 18 and 49. 8 ads in one day to every single person in the country between 18 and 49 for the same price. And so the question I raised in that video was, okay, which of those would actually work better? And I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, at $5 million and for that 30-second spot, you do have the title of being a Super Bowl sponsor. I mean, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, and there's so much media coverage, right? You get all these articles about which is the best commercial and the least best, and they're just, because it's the Super Bowl, quote unquote, you get this ripple effect in the traditional press that you certainly would not get from a banner ad campaign. Although, actually, let me rethink that, because if you actually did that, if you said, hey, we're going to show 8 ads in the same day to every person in the country, I guarantee you'd have a ton of media coverage on that.
Oh, you totally would. All right, well, let's leave big business for a second and the $5 million for a 30-second spot, which most of our audience could not relate to. Let's talk about customer service, though, on a different level. You mentioned many times, and I see it in a lot of your writing and a lot of the stuff that you're doing, customer service being the new marketing. It used to be that just delivering a product or service was all that you had to do, and as long as it delivered on time and it was a good product or service. But that's not so much anymore the way it is. So can we just chat for a couple of moments about customer service being the new marketing?
Well, let's talk about why that's true. So for millennia, since the days of Pompeii, business didn't really have to be great at customer service because there was no economic impact either way. And I say that because for the vast majority of time, customer service has been private. The interactions between companies and their customers took place face-to-face, via phone, and then eventually via email and complaint letter, right? So there was a postal relationship for a moment in time. And I guess you could fax a business at one point. But historically, all of our interactions with companies and companies' interactions with customers have been private. So in those circumstances, if you're really, really good at customer service, how does that benefit you? It makes that individual customer happy, and that customer will probably tell their friends. But how many friends do you have, really? You didn't have a podcast. And so the economic upside of being great at customer service was muted. And on the other side of the coin, if you were a company that was really bad at customer service, who cares, right? That customer is unhappy, but they were already unhappy to begin with, and they might talk shit to you about you to some of their friends, but how many friends do they really have? And so the economic upside of being great at customer service was reduced, and the economic downside of being terrible at customer service was reduced because customer service took place in private. Now, however, with more and more customer interactions taking place in social media, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Angie's List, Yelp, TripAdvisor, all that kind of stuff,
right.
and all the discussion boards and forums, customer service is a spectator sport now, Doug. And because it's now a spectator sport, it's not just about being good at customer service because you want to make your customer happy. You have to understand that in many cases, tens or hundreds or thousands or tens of thousands of other potential customers are looking on from the sidelines and can see exactly how your business treats those people, good or bad. And so the economic incentive to be great at customer service is much higher than it's ever been. And the economic penalty for being bad at customer service is also much higher than it's ever been. And that's why we say that customer service is the new marketing, because it can move markets. It can create customers or lose you customers the same way that marketing can.
All right, so we're on this wave, though, and the wave right now says that small business is really, it's easy for small business to kind of stay in front of the wave because they're just on a little surfboard and they're just kind of paddling and they're staying in front of that, and their customer service is great, or they understand that social media can really make it great or fuck things up really bad. Big business, however, seems to be on the other side of the wave to a certain degree. They have the ship and they're just like, I can't paddle any faster. This ship, we're slapping the guys down in the bow saying, move, move, move. But why is it? Is it that big business just doesn't understand, or they're just lost somewhere? Because big business oftentimes sucks at it. Whether it's the cable companies or the credit card companies, how do we convince them that they're not putting dollars or enough dollars into the right spot? Or maybe they are and we're just not seeing it. Explain that.
It's actually the latter. And a lot of those companies are clients of ours that we work with. And I can tell you that fundamentally every big business understands how important customer service and customer experience is today. And fundamentally every big business has some sort of initiative in the organization to make changes. But the challenge is you're talking about a scope and a scale that is unfathomable for most of us. And you have these massive entrenched departments that have always been doing it the same way because it's always been phone and email, and now it's phone and email and social media, and that's tricky. And what do they say? And just the number of customer contacts is overwhelming. But it's happening. Comcast, for example, is actually a company that we do some work with, and they are moving from.
It's a good thing I didn't use that name.
No, it's okay. It's fine. They are investing a tremendous amount of money on customer service and customer experience because they know it's an existential issue, and they are moving, for example, from some 13 full-time people answering customers in social media to 400. People full-time answering customers in social media because they know that it is actually better, right? Customers like it more. They have better customer service outcomes. It's more efficient. It's actually more cost-effective for them at scale to do it that way. But for a company that size to say, hey, we're going to move some people off the phones and onto Twitter, you can't just show up on Monday and say, okay, guys, let's do that. And that's one of the great benefits that small businesses and entrepreneurs have, is that you can build a customer service organization and a customer service system from scratch, or make changes without a lot of inertia. And of course, the benefit that most small businesses have is that they're just closer to the customers. Like, you know what your customers want because they're within smelling distance. When you get big companies, there's layers and layers and layers and layers, and the people making decisions don't actually interact with customers that much, which is one of the other things I think is pretty cool about Comcast is they started this new program where all of the managers at every level of the organization have to actually call customers and talk to them every month. And so in the last year, they've made hundreds of thousands of phone calls from managers to customers, just like, hey, how's it going? And that kind of thing changes cultures.
I want to give you my phone number because I want to be on their list. I want to be the guy
I can do it. Seriously, let me know. Send me a note. I'll make it happen.
No, 410-340-6861. And I've given it to my audience, and and I'm happy to share it with anybody that wants it. I would love to be that guy that somebody calls and says, Care First, for example, my insurance company, I would love them to actually call me and say, what is wrong with what what we do. And I would just say, how much time do you have?
I don't need to eat. I'm good. We got time.
No, exactly. It's and I don't even understand it. And again, I'm not going to pick on Comcast here. I'm going to pick on all big business or all businesses that really look at it and they say, well, we have, unfortunately, many of them are script readers. They're unempathetic. They're overly polite. They're check off the box shitheads that don't care. And the problem is, it's not just the training. It's the people they fucking hire. I don't get it sometimes why they can't hire the people that just don't read a script. Just be a human being. I mean, the confines, stay within the confines of what you have to talk about.
Well, what we find a lot of times is it's not so much the people. It's the rules. And you get into this situation where you're dealing with thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of customers on a weekly basis. And so what they think they should do is script it and say, okay, well, let's reduce risk. And when you reduce risk, you also eliminate spontaneity and empathy in many cases. And so it ends up being like, why don't we just use a robot for this? Let's save all the money and actually use a robot, and that's how that interaction comes off sometimes. So
it's almost like I'd rather deal with a robot.
That's true. We talked about that in the book, Hug Your Haters. We did a lot of research on that. Like 70% of customers prefer. This is a really important lesson, I think, for all listeners who are thinking about trying to serve customers best. We think the best way to do is get on the phone and be really empathetic and human, and certainly that helps. But 70% of customers prefer to figure it out on their own on your website than having to call.
Right.
So the best thing you should do is build a way better FAQ. That's the first thing you should tackle.
At least I know what I'm dealing with when I have a robot, or I'm dealing with an FAQ, or dealing with anything that's. Yeah, my expectations are completely different. And, it is interesting because I do find that most of the time, if you give people, again, let me just step back for a second. If I go back to a Care First experience that I had at the end of the call obviously did not go well. It was a horrible call. They didn't answer my questions. They weren't able to resolve the matter. They didn't even really approach resolving the matter for me. Why are they asking me a question at the end of that interview? Did I resolve all your issues to a satisfactory manner? I'm like, what idiot told them you have to ask that question no matter what happens in the call? Where did that happen?
Yeah, I know. I think we, in general, businesses, small and large, are really pretty terrible at feedback collection, at trying to put metrics around customer service and customer satisfaction. I mean, here's a classic example. Like, you've bought a car. Everybody listening has probably bought a car at some point, and you buy a car, and the salesperson says to you right when you're signing the paperwork, "Hey, man, listen, in a couple of days, you're going to get a phone call. And that phone call is going to be a really important survey. And it's really, really important that you give me all 10s.
Yeah,
is there anything I can do for you to make sure that you give me all 10s?
Yeah, don't lie to me.
Right, because the dealership is bonused on number of 10s, and the sales rep is bonused on number of 10s. And so what you end up with is this whole like guilt trip. And so you're like, this guy doesn't deserve a 10, but I want to give him a 10 because I don't want him to like lose his bonus. And that's not the right way to get feedback.
No.
I mean, that's not. And look, fundamentally, here's the problem with business and customer service and customer feedback. We run away from complaints instead of running toward complaints. And that's really the whole point of the book, Hug Your Haters, is to say, look, you need to embrace negativity. Doug, I want to tell you a story that I've learned. I've started 5 companies and I've been doing the entrepreneur thing for 25 years. Here's something that I have learned that I think is unassailably important. Praise is the most overrated thing in life. Praise is massively overrated. Every time somebody says, "Oh, you're so great at this and you're so great at that, and I love your podcast," and blah, 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 it makes you feel terrific. But it doesn't teach you shit, because in almost every case, we already know what we're good at. Yeah. What makes you a better person, what makes you a better entrepreneur, what makes you a better business person and husband and father and friend is negative feedback and criticism. It's people who are good seek compliments. People who are great seek complaints. That's the difference. So find a way to ask your customers to tell you the truth. The truth will set you free.
I love that philosophy. I've written a number of these little Dougisms, I guess you would say it is, and mistakes are bound to happen. It's what happens next that really counts. And I really do. I feel like that is the philosophy that has built my entire business over the last 30 years. It's that. Yeah, I'm not afraid of those mistakes. That I'm going to make mistakes. We're all human beings. Let's just figure out how we can actually make the customer happy when we make those mistakes on the other side of it.
Yeah, it's not practical to think you're going to be perfect. No, even the best organizations make mistakes every day, but you have 100% control over what happens next. And I'm glad you mentioned empathy. One of the things I talk about on stage a lot is this concept of BEAT, B-E-E-T. And B-E-E-T, BEAT stands for be empathetic every time. Because even if the customer's wrong, and the customer is wrong constantly, you are in control over how that customer interprets your response. And that's the least you can do.
Answer a question just about you personally for a second. Are you a service guy turned marketing or marketing guy turned service?
Marketing guy turned service. I've been a marketer my whole life. Started in politics, then got into traditional marketing, and then online marketing. And how we went down this path is a lot of our customers were struggling with the convergence of marketing and customer service, especially online. And I thought, geez, if the biggest companies in the world can't figure this out, nobody can figure this out. So I started to go down that path and did tons of research and spent a number of years kind of diagnosing and dissecting kind of where we're at with modern customer service. And here we are.
Those words are the words that make me want to come to work for you. And those words are modern customer service. The old customer service, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with going by the old adage that the customer's always right and we got to figure out how to make them right and all that. But it really is how to make them right and how to deliver exemplary service in this world that we live, the social world that we live in today. It's not just about one-on-one communication through phone and for visits. It is all about how we communicate, even at 140 characters or less on Twitter.
Oh, no question. I've got 2 teenagers at home, both in high school, and it's a fantastic R&D lab for me. And they, of course, have smartphones, as you might suspect, but there's no product in the history of products that's more inappropriately named than smartphone for them, because they have no interest in using the telephone.
Right.
I mean, my son's almost 16. He won't use the phone at bayonet point. Like he literally, I mean, he avoids the phone like Ebola. Like he is not interested in the telephone. and email is only slightly better. He's got like 6,200 unread emails on his phone. He's a kid. I said, Ethan, what are all these emails? He's like, I don't know. I never check my email. And I'm like, okay, well, you will never know inbox is 0. It's too late for you. But I refuse to believe that these kids who are our future customers, they're everybody's future customers, will eventually be sitting in their first cubicle and say, wow, I've really been missing out on the joys of telephonic communication.
Not going to happen.
And so if you have a department in your organization that is either officially or unofficially known as the call center, you need to rethink some things, because someday that phone ain't going to ring anymore. And you're going to have to stay on top of that. And a lot of people simply are not.
I got a call yesterday, actually, from a local chamber of commerce I'm in the Washington, D.C. area. So I got a call from the Baltimore area chamber of commerce, and they said, we want you to come and speak for about a half hour on best practices for networking for millennials. And I said, okay, well, I'm 52, but I'm happy to share this information with you. And she said, well, I'm reading all your stuff online about how to build a rock star brand and how to build networking best practices and all that. And I said, yeah, I'm happy to come in and talk to you, but the issue is that they have to put their phones down in order to participate in this just for a moment. It really is amazing how people don't, especially some of the younger folks nowadays. Here we go, Mr. Old Guy now. Some of the younger folks these days just don't know how to effectively communicate one-on-one in a networking experience and actually have interpersonal communication between each other. That is challenging,
yeah,
I guess.
I've never had to.
So, Nice Guy community, you may not know this. Jay is a highly sought after speaker. He would not tell you this, but I know that he is just from my doing research and knowing Jay from the industry. Also an amazing wearer of pocket squares. Jay, what's your favorite thing to do? Speak, podcast, consult, eat Italian food? What makes you get out of bed happy in the morning? Speaking is my favorite.
I mean, it's a grind. I do probably about 60 events a year. And so the travel of that is a grind, of course, but it's my favorite thing to do. I mean, you just have, you can have a real impact on people in that format, and the light bulb can go on, and you can tell your stories and customize it for their needs. It's fantastic. And I'll tell you, I've been a consultant longer than I've been a speaker. And what I learned is that nobody ever gives standing ovations to the consultant. You can deliver the greatest strategic plan in history, but nobody ever gets out of those chairs in the conference room and stands and applauds. But as a speaker, that happens all the time. So I prefer that one.
So very true. And as a 30-year veteran in the DJ world, here again in the DC area, I completely get it. Not only do you get paid, but you get applause and you get people that love you. And when they respond by getting on the dance floor or getting just in your face and loving what you're doing, it's immediate feedback, but you never get that as a guy on the phone selling the DJ to his client. And you never get a tip it as the guy that's sitting on the phone either. You get a pretty good tip when you're the guy out there doing it. I want to change gears just for a second, because I happened to, as I was doing a little research on you, find some information about some of the people on your team. You have a good team when they post "Love You Valentine's" videos on Twitter. So talk about the importance of the team as it relates to exceeding expectations for your customers, and how do you assemble them to start with?
So we have there's 14 of us at Convince and Convert, my firm, sort of split between the speaking division, the media division, which is our network of podcasts and blogs and other things, and the consulting division, which are all strategists who work with big companies on customer service strategy and social media strategy, et cetera. And we find people who are super fantastic people, first and foremost, and really smart and have tons of experience, who want to work remotely and virtually with a great team with very little hassles. We have one meeting a year. We have 4 phone calls a year. When I started this company 8 years ago, after selling my previous firm, I said, I want to do something where all the things I didn't like, I don't do, and I do all the things I did like. And so we don't have an office. We don't have junior staff. Everybody's on the same level. So we don't have a lot of HR issues and things like that. We just sort of stripped away all the BS, which is fantastic. So we've got an incredible team, people who came from Google, from Walt Disney, from the PGA Tour, from a lot of fantastic places who want to work sort of as the Avengers of consultancy. And it's been really terrific. They do all the work. I just take all the victory laps.
No, I love it. And I love watching all the accolades that they shower upon you and everybody at your office, because it really is, you can tell just from watching one video that exactly how cohesive your entire unit must be.
Yeah, we went 6 years with 0% turnover.
Wow. How many years without an accident, though? Because you got to post that.
All as far as I know, all years without an accident. It's hard to have a social media consulting accident. It really is. It's not impossible, but it's hard.
You could spindle your tongue. That would not be. That's right. That would not be good.
That's right.
So put away your Jay Baer hat for a second and put on your entrepreneur hat for just a moment. I want to ask you 5 questions, really quick questions. Going to give you 15 to 20 seconds to answer each one of them. Do your best to answer them as honestly as I know that you really are. Here we go. Question number 1. Be relatable, Jay. What do you suck at?
I suck at follow through.
Really?
I'm really good at, well, I'm really good at, here's the great idea. And then once that idea is kind of off the ground, I'm all excited about it. And then I don't take it all the way through. And then that costs me sometimes.
Well, that's called delegation. You just got to learn how to delegate a little bit better. Be transparent, Jay. How did you pay your bills when you first got going?
So when I first started my own company, I called every single person I knew in Phoenix, which is where I lived at the time, and said, hey, I started my own company. If you need some help with the internet or know somebody who does, I'm your guy. I called 300 people. Wow. And ended up with 3 clients, and haven't had an unprofitable month ever since, and that was 20 years ago.
That's amazing. All right, Jay, be confident. What do you do as an entrepreneur that's as good as it gets?
What do I think I am decent at a few things, but what I am particularly good at is assessing and selecting talent. I've hired a lot of people in my career, and I've only made a couple of mistakes in that period of time, and I don't know why, but I'm just good at it.
Excellent. All right, Jay, be humble. What experts do you need to call upon to make shit happen when it just isn't happening?
What experts do I call upon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've got a whole cadre of people that I turn to. I just recently talked to my friend Greg Hickman, who's going to help me with a new online course that we're working on. I mean, there's definitely things, especially as business continues to get more and more complex. We've got tax advisors, we've got financial advisors, we've got all kinds of legal advisors, all kinds of amazing people that I turn to, because I certainly do not have all the answers.
Okay, last one right here. As a business owner as an entrepreneur, put these into priority order. So I'm going to give you 4 words. So your job is to put these words into priority order. Employees, customers, products, systems.
employees, customers, systems, products.
Okay. Why employees first? Not that that's wrong. Just curious.
Well, I mean, especially in my business, where we don't actually make anything. You know, we convince you to give us money because you think we're smarter than you. All we have to sell is employees. Like, if, you know, that's it. That is the product. So for us, without having the right team, there is no point of having this organization. So it's everything.
I would agree with you. If our Nice Guy community wanted to get in touch with you to either request your services or to talk to you about coming to speak at their organization, how can they get in touch with you, Jay?
Yeah, I'm easy to find. jbaer.com is the site for me, BAER. Convinceandconvert.com is our main site, which has 10 blog posts a week, 5 podcasts a week, a daily email, everything you'd want to know about modern customer service, social media, content marketing, etc. And then the brand new course based on the book is the Keep Your Customers course, keepyourcustomerscourse.com. And as we mentioned, the new book is Hug Your Haters.
Oh, I'm loving that. Hey, and I saw also, I did not realize you had a network too. What is that? Is it new? Is it something you've been doing? Maybe I'm just stupid. Fill me in.
What was that? I'm sorry? You
have a network. It looks like you have a bunch of other podcasts that are on your site, I guess.
Yeah, we do. We have five different podcasts that we produce, and then some for corporations that we also produce behind the scenes. So we have Social Pros, which is for social media, as mentioned, Content Pros, which is for content marketing, Influence Pros, which is about influencer marketing, etc. So yeah, we have a small podcast network.
That's amazing. That is cool. So Nice Guy community, make sure you head over to Jay's website to get more information about not only the network, but maybe even to talk to him about potentially doing a podcast. So it sounds like you potentially could start a podcast for somebody's company that would use that as a marketing tool.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we do podcasts for several companies that we help them figure out the show and produce it and edit it and market it and all those things.
Whoa, way cool idea. I may have to steal that idea from you or talk to you about it. So one way or the other. So Jay, you have your phone anywhere near you?
Actually, I don't, which is bizarre.
That is really bizarre. Okay, well, you might be able to answer this question, though. Is it an iPhone or something inferior?
iPhone.
Okay, good. That's just needed to know that. You happen to remember?
If you don't know the answer to that question, that's really trouble.
Yeah, that
kind
would
of phone
be really
bad. If you don't know that, you got a problem. Yeah.
You know what I find that everybody that's an iPhone user actually understands that they have an iPhone. Other than that, the inferior phones like the Samsung or any of the Google phones or whatever, people don't even know what model they have. So
that's a good point.
Don't really know. I don't really talk to them.
And there's certainly things about it that I wish would change. This new removing the headphone jack thing is bothersome, and there's just always things. But you're so locked into that ecosystem. I've got a million Macs at home, and everybody in the family's got iPhones, and everybody in the company's got MacBooks. It's just at some point you're like, I'm not going to change at this point. They have me.
No, totally. They have me. They have me locked down pretty good. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay hanging here.
Yeah.
Jay, thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Again, Nice Guy community. I'll make sure we put all of Jay's contact information in the show notes so that you can get in touch with him, find out about his network, find out about his online offerings, and all the other fun stuff that he does. Jay, thanks for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks so much, Doug.
Nice Guy community. Never underestimate the value and the promise and the strength of nice. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
If you're hearing my voice right now, you obviously enjoy the podcast. So why not help the guys out? Click on the Patreon link in the show notes, and for as little as $2 a month, you can show your support. Or show us whatever you want.